All right, week 5 college football breakdown here. Good SEC afternoon matchup. Texas A&M traveling to Starkville to take on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. The unranked Bulldogs going up against a ranked Texas A&M, still 3.5-point favorites at home, and a very low total for a Mike Leach game at 44.5. You know, I'm mulling over whether I want to lay the points with Mississippi State here or if I want to isolate the Texas A&M team total under. Listen, as somebody who laid the points with A&M a few weeks ago when they played Miami at home, and won that bet somehow, I can tell you this A&M offense is not good, and quite frankly, I don't think it's going to get much better throughout the season. I think they've underperformed on their offensive line this year. They did get Devon Achane going a little bit against Arkansas last week. He had a few big chunk runs. I don't think they're going to be able to do that in this matchup. This Mississippi State defense is maybe one of the more underrated units in college football. By my estimation, this is a top 15 defense in the country. And what they're especially good at is within their front seven. I think they're going to be able to stop the run in this game. I think they, even in year 3 under Mike Leach, they are pretty physical up front. So I think A&M's offensive line has underperformed this year. And aside from last week, and maybe a little bit against Miami, Devon Achane has really not had many holes to run through. And so I don't expect that to change in this game. I'm going to tell you another thing, too. If A&M couldn't take advantage of Arkansas's weakness in their secondary last week, I mean, go look at what Ben Bryant of Cincinnati did to Arkansas secondary. Go look at what Spencer Rattler did against Arkansas secondary when they played them earlier this year. If A&M can't take advantage offensively in that sort of matchup, I have no confidence that now going on the road that they're going to be able to magically do so. I think we have to just all admit that this is a bad passing offense. I thought Max Johnson, within reason, actually made some plays last week. Saw him kind of get involved in the run game, which is kind of funny. His offensive line was getting beat up front all night. He was dealing with pressure all night. They don't have time to allow some of those more slow developing plays to develop. And, they lost their number 1 receiver in last week's game, Anaya Smith, out for the year. So there's really not much to like about this A&M offense, and especially if they can't establish the run. And I don't think they're going to be able to in this game. So part of me wants to just isolate A&M's offense and play their team total under. Probably going to get that at 20.5, hopefully 21. That would be ideal. Another part of me thinks that I should just lay the 3.5 with Mississippi State. This line tells you everything you need to know about how the odds makers feel about how these two teams match up. I'll admit that I'm a little bit gun shy with Mississippi State. I bet on them a few weeks ago when they played in Baton Rouge. They led after 3 quarters, but their offense had their struggles in that game. Let's not forget, though, Mississippi State went into College Station last year and beat this Texas A&M team in their house. Will Rogers threw for over 400 yards. I was high on this offense coming into the year. I think with Rogers being in year 3, with a lot of those running backs and receivers being in year 3, I think this offense is going to make even more strides this year than we saw from 2020 to 2021. So I think my concerns with laying the points here probably more so reactionary to listen. Another part of it is I think A&M's got a pretty good defense. I love their front 4, specifically in the interior, and I like what they have in their secondary as well. I will say at the second level, when you're going up against an air raid offense, and you're thinking about how the defense matches up with the opposing passing attack, it's not only corners that are going to get picked on. It's linebackers as well. I mean, they're going 4 wide, and those linebackers in the passing game are going to have a huge responsibility. I'm not sold on A&M's linebackers yet. It's the one unit on that defense that I do have some concerns about. So I think Mississippi State will be able to have success throwing the ball over the middle of the field. I don't think they're necessarily going to put up, 30-plus points in this game, but I do think they're going to run pretty efficiently, and I do think Will Rogers should be able to have an efficient day. Ultimately, I'm recording this on Thursday night. Obviously, team totals come out on Saturday morning widespread. So if I were to play A&M team total under, I would give that out Saturday morning. I'm going to add some plays to my card tomorrow morning, and I'm probably going to decide if I want to lay the points with Mississippi State or just isolate that A&M team total under. I will be on one of those, though, because I do like this matchup for the Bulldogs. I think this line is telling you everything you need to know about how these teams match up. Before we get out of here, guys, I know you've been staring at the shirt the whole time. If you're wondering how you can look as cool and sexy as me, let me tell you, Proud90.com, unique but very comfortable polos as well. They got t-shirts, hoodies, quarter zips, recently added a ladies line. Proud90's got all your golf apparel needs. Browse their selection. If you see anything you like at checkout, use code FORDHAM. It's going to get you 15% off your entire order. Check the description for more information.